The NextLabs SharePoint Enforcer is an example of NextLabs software that is integrated with a Microsoft product. SharePoint is an especially good product for attribute-based access control, since nearly everything in SharePoint could have attributes applied to it. While most often we are applying policies to manage access to items in a document library, you could just as easily create policies to manage access to the library web part itself, the portal, or even links. The SharePoint Enforcer can be configured in two different modes. It can display items to the users and then allow or deny access to them, or it can be configured to use trimming and only return those things to the browsers that the user has permissions to. To demonstrate how SharePoint works, we have to have a set of requirements. Those requirements may be based on things such as government regulations or business requirements. For this demonstration, the business has determined that access to project files needs to be restricted such that managers may have access to all the project files, but other employees are only allowed access to projects to which they are assigned. They have also determined that information related to things still in development cannot be uploaded to the project SharePoint library. For the demo, we will be using three users, Anne, Bob, and Chris. They have been assigned to different projects as seen here. Also, the projects are categorized as being in either production or development. And finally, we have several files that have been labeled with different project information. Here we see what the business requirements look like when shown as a set of policies. As per NextLabs best practice, we have a deny policy that is followed by allow policies that serve as exceptions to the top-level deny. For example, we see that we have a top-level deny policy that simply prohibits uploading any files to the project library. But then we have a sub-policy that will allow production-related items to be uploaded. Now let's take a look at the enforcers in action. Here we see Anne is logged on and she has the project documents and sensitive items documents libraries both open. For the demo, we have turned trimming on for the sensitive items library, but not for the project library. To begin with, we're going to test the policy where Anne is going to try to upload this next-gen file to the project documents library. So if you recall, business requirements said that you couldn't upload development projects like next-gen to this library. And you can see Anne has been denied trying to upload this because it's not authorized for upload here. And so if we refresh that, we can see that file is not in this library. So next we're going to take a look at some access control. And so for this, we're going to go down and we're going to log in as Bob. And we see he has the two libraries open as well. And so to begin with, we can show that since Bob is assigned to the Jupyter project, if he clicks on that Jupyter file, the file opens and he has access to it. However, if he clicks on this Intrepid file, which he's not assigned to the Intrepid project, you see the file does not open. He's not authorized access to that file. Now we're going to take a look at trimming. And so if we go back to Anne, you can see when she goes to the sensitive items library, she sees all of the items, all the projects, Epsilon, Intrepid, Jupyter, NextGen, all of them are here. But if we go down and take a look at Bob, when he looks at the sensitive items library, you can see he only sees Epsilon, Jupyter, and NextGen. He does not see the Intrepid files. And when we look at Chris, he only sees Intrepid and Jupyter. He doesn't see NextGen or Epsilon because those files have been trimmed. It is important to note that trimming is not simply masking the items not shown to the user. Even if the user were to have the link to the trimmed item, they would still not have access to it. That concludes the NextLabs SharePoint Enforcer demonstration.